to Sister Talk. I am your host, JM, and this is my co-host.
I'm Tatiana. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a wrap-up, a reflection, a check-in. So far, we've done about 15 episodes. This will be our 16th, and then it will be the wrap-up episode of our very first season 1 of Sister Talks, the podcast. We filmed these videos and released them over the course of about 4 months. So this is just going to be us talking about our journey on starting it, being consistent, and just like our structure and everything. So yeah. Okay. So like we always do, we're going to start this episode off with a little bit of an icebreaker. So I want to ask JM, where are you mentally right now?
That's a great question. And that's something I don't think about all the time. But with everything that is going on and what I got going on, I would say mentally a 7.
It's pretty good.
What about you?
I would say I haven't really thought about this either, like in number wise. I would say probably like a 5 or a 6. I'm just at like a big transition point in life, so I'm trying to figure out how to like navigate that and control like my feelings, my emotions, and my day-to-day life.
Yeah. So you like smack dead in the middle. You just neutral.
Yeah, and it's not just so like, I know it sounds like in the middle, but like it's not more so like sadness or anything like that. It's just like I was doing, something consistently for a long time. I've been in school since I was like a kid, obviously. So then now this is like just the first like point in my life where I'm like trying to figure out. I'm done with school, so I'm just trying to figure out exactly what I want to do. And then I started going to the gym, so that's been on me. So I actually may be a little bit higher because I'm doing things, going to the gym by myself, and I never thought I'd be able to do that. So I might actually be like a 7 too. I guess that's a little bit of a win.
Yeah, I've been going to the gym as well, so that's why I gave you a little midsection action because the girl been good, and hopefully I can continue it. It's a journey. It's something that I've always, start but don't take too serious, and this has been like I've really been really consistent with it. Me and my boyfriend been going, so it's been kind of easy because he'll get up, he'll wake me up, and then drive there. And then I could, start working out. I don't gotta worry about driving to the place and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been actually fun. I've been wanting to go. Like it ain't been like, oh, I gotta go to the gym today. It's kind of be like, when after waking up and stuff, I'll be like, okay, let me get ready and stuff like that. So that's definitely been helping me keep busy because I don't have anything like I don't have a job like a 9 to 5 right now, so that's been keeping me like doing something.
Yeah, I could definitely agree. Like, once it's obviously the getting past like getting up and stuff. I don't get up that early for the gym, but once it's past that, like you do start to want to go. You get in the routine of it. Last week I went like in the beginning of the week, and I didn't go all the way until like the end of the week. So it's like, or actually, I did end up going at the end of the week. So I only went one time last week, and I felt like out of place. So I'm liking that it's like beginning to be a routine. I think that's the biggest thing. Like if it's in your routine, then it gets easier.
Most definitely. So I'm just so excited for this episode by this being our end of our first season of Sister Talks. I'm like so happy, and it's like, oh my God, we have a podcast, So the first subject we're going to talk about is expectations and reality. So as far as that overall expectation at the beginning of the podcast, what was your expectations versus like how it is now?
I'm not gonna lie. As for views, I thought we'd have a little bit more views, like consistently per episode. But outside of the views, my biggest expectation was like, or my biggest like goal was just to be consistent. I wanted to be consistent. I wanted to have some type of structure. And I will say, me and JM, obviously, we're still figuring it out because it's only the first season, it's only been a few months. But we have some type of like structure, you know, like she has the stuff that she does, I have the stuff that I do. So I like that aspect of it. We know like what each other do. We've been consistent. We missed like 1 or 2 weeks because we were like out of the country literally. But other than that, like we've filmed every week, we've edited every week, and we've put something out every single week. So that is like, I'm very proud of that part. Very, very proud.
So my expectations as far as Sister Talk, I just expected it to be like more so of like more of our sisters coming on as well. And because we all figuring out and everybody is living like their own life as far as like they got kids, they work in school or whatever they might get going on. So it's like, you know, hopefully for the second season, we'll have a little more of our sisters like on the podcast because it is called Sister Talks. And it did start with the thought of them in mind of what we already were doing. So yeah, as far as views, I did also think that we would have more views, consistent on like most of the videos because I feel like it's pretty good content. Obviously, I think that I put it out, but granted, we definitely hit on a lot of like things that is everyday thoughts and living, you know, things that people go through on a day-to-day basis. So it's like I thought more people could relate that, or maybe we're not promoting ourselves as good as we should be. I don't know, but that and yeah, I thought it would be harder to get like guests every, you know, week, put out content with guests, and that's been pretty cool. Like a lot of people have been willing to be on our show, so I really appreciate it. I like really love all of our guests that's been on there because it's not tough to, you know, talk in front of a camera and then also knowing that you're putting yourself out to be judged or whatever, you know, with the world. So, but I'm still amazed that we have a podcast, and it's like once we set our minds to doing something, we do it. I love that. Whether we have 100 views to 100K views, it's still we doing it. It's what we want to do, and yeah.
Yeah, we do want to, we do, you know, we are grateful, even though we both said that, like, we did expect a little bit more views. We are grateful for the people that have tuned in. And that I will say my expectation, I did not expect like, you know, guests and stuff. I thought it would be much harder coordinating and stuff like that. And I feel like we've done pretty well. Like the people that have come on have been like, just very like, they treated it very serious. Like I'm very grateful for that. I didn't, I don't know, I thought it was gonna be hard, people wouldn't want to do it. Maybe last minute they would say, oh, I'm okay, or something. I don't know. But we had some pretty good guests, some pretty good, like respectful, like mannerism, if that makes sense.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, so now I wanted to ask, do you think, like, what do you think about our topics? Do you think it was like a wide range of topics that like everybody could connect to, or, you know, like what do you think about our topics as a whole? Our 15 different topics.
I think they were pretty good. I feel like they fit where we are in the world today. I do think next season we're gonna have more juicier topics because we're kind of getting our feet wet, and we didn't want to, you know, I don't want to put anything out that'll offend anyone or would make someone think that they couldn't watch us or didn't want to watch us. So I was a little hesitant to get on those real, you know, touchy topics. But for our first season, I really do believe that we had some great topics. We had some great guests that fit the topics. So yeah, like who wouldn't want to know what a man want? You know, us women always wonder like, oh, what do these men really want? You know, that was a topic. Black women, like we're Black women, and I don't feel like enough people talk about us. So I think we hit it, and that was actually our highest viewed episode. So yeah, that, and kids' opinion. A lot of people don't even take in consideration how kids feel and stuff like that. So I feel like we touched on a lot of stuff that should have, touched with different people. What about you?
I definitely could agree. We talked about dating a few times. And then, as you said, we got the male perspective on that. And then the males, they were like great. Um, I learned a lot from them. We talked about the LGBTQ community. Like you said, people don't consider kids. They think kids are kids, or they think like, not kids don't have a voice, but like, if they do speak, then it might be like disrespectful and stuff like that. So, we had the perspective of the kids, one being my only child, one being a child of a blended family. Um, I think we touched on a lot of stuff. Like you said, being a Black woman. And then we talked about like
College life.
oh yeah, we talked about college life. And even though that episode is titled College Life, we kind of touched on like
Adulthood.
yeah, just like
Different.
finding like, your different career path, what you want to do in life. So that was good too. And we talk about our personal goals and aspirations with our businesses and stuff like that. So I think we did on a lot of stuff.
I love the ones where, like, I love our guests, but I also love the ones where we just kind of check in with each other and, still, not overshadowed, but we able to just talk about us, as well. So I love those too. So the guests are great, but the hosts are great as well. So yeah.
And we did have some like as for range, like, specifically to the guests, we had some like younger people, like we said, we had the younger people. We had, a family member that's like now a grandma, or she's been a grandma actually. So we had like a range of people. We had a co-parenting father. So yeah, I think and then heroes too.
Men without kids, men with kids, older men, middle. We had LGB. That's. I feel like we really definitely touched on a variety of people.
Mm-hmm. But I do agree with what James said. Like we kind of like we're scratching the surface, But next season is gonna be like it's definitely you're gonna want to tune in. It's definitely gonna be like juicier topics and stuff like that. I can't wait.
Turn it up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about all our episodes, out of all the episodes that we filmed thus far, which one is your favorite?
My favorite, I don't know. It would probably have to be the male perspective one. The male perspective one, I really like that one. Of course, I like the two men that were on there and what they had to say. I like more specifically that Justin touched on like, men, like the masculinity that's supposed to be like instilled in men like at a young age, or are supposed to, but the masculinity that is instilled in men at a young age, it leads them to believe in their adulthood that like if they, show emotion and stuff that they're considered weak and stuff. And I feel like that leads into why a lot of like relationships, women are like, I feel like he doesn't express himself and I'm looking for like reassurance and this and that. And that man, he just wasn't like, he probably wasn't taught that. So I do like that we, got a man perspective and that he thought about that and he noticed that too growing up. And then that, led all the way until our current event one where we talked about, like the woman maybe seemed like it's so crazy for the man. And then the man is like, so be this cool guy, not really showing too much like, attention or that much love out loud. So those two topics, even though from two different episodes, like that is like my favorite topic because I just feel like that just leads into, why people might have issues in their relationships or just issues with, male people in their lives in general.
Yeah. So my favorite episode thus far. I love them all. It's actually pretty hard to choose which one was my favorite, but I have to go with dating in today's world with Jawanda and Sherry. I really love filming that episode because I feel like we dropped a lot of jewels that could help anyone in the future that's dating, or it could help myself if I ever have to, get back in the dating world or whatever. So I definitely love that episode. And it made me think like, okay, so this is probably why these things happen in relationships, or this happened or that. Speaking with like Sherry, her being like an older woman that's been out in the world for a while, and then Jawanda being a married woman, then you being a younger woman in today's world with social media being included in life relationship, and then me being middle, so I feel like it was a lot of different people on that, and a lot of stuff got put in the pot from everybody. So I really love that episode. That was gotta be my favorite thus far. And I love the LGBT one as well. That was real funny and fun to do. Yeah. He's hilarious. So I love that one, was funny. So
yeah, I could agree about the dating one. That one, just because I just see the dating period being glossed over so much. I just thought it interesting that we only talked about like dating. We did dating slash relationships a little bit, but I like that it was more so focused on dating because people skip that part, and that's an important part. So I definitely do like the episode. And Sherry, I love Sherry too. She's really funny, and she did drop like, oh, we all, dropped a lot of gems and stuff like that.
Yeah. And to go back on like what men want, or like the men's perspective, I definitely love that one as well, because I'm a woman, so I always say, oh, the women go through this, go through that, go through this, but we never think about, oh, what do the men go through as well? Like I do kind of, sort of, but to actually hear it out of a man's mouth that was vulnerable and ready to, let people in or whatever in that moment of the episode. So it was like, yeah, that I enjoyed that one as well. And I learned a lot from that one. What is some things that you gained from the podcast thus far of us filming, putting it out and everything? What have you taken away from it?
I would personally say so far, like I said, it's only been about 4 months and we have about 15 episodes out. I would say I gained patience. Like we said at the beginning, we maybe expected to get a little bit more views. But even though we didn't, like I still learned like that it's been a little bit amount of time, like I watched this, one guy and he said, I want to say 2 or 3 years before he started making money, before he started getting like actual views and stuff. So I'm just like learning patience. Like I see our podcast being like big because I just feel like we have a lot to offer, a lot to say. So I'm just like, learning patience, and I'm just like taking every like step by step.
Well, what I've gained is consistency, not lacking on yourself, because if you're lacking on yourself, then your work is gonna lack. So I really like that we stay on schedule, we film, we be on time to film and stuff. So it's like consistency and taking myself as serious as I would take another job serious. So I love that I could treat my businesses as business. Like I value time. Time is very valuable to me. So I take my time serious. So I like that consistency. We film, we put out, we edit, we all the stuff that we do, we outline, we kind of go through episodes. We even reach out to people for to be guests or whatever. So just consistency and taking myself and our businesses serious as we want other people to. So definitely the podcast. And it also I gained like to open up as far as not be afraid to let outsiders in as well, because I'm very open with my family and my friends and my man, but the outsiders, I used to be like, I don't want them to know nothing about me, but it's kind of like therapeutic a little bit too, It also make me feel like I'm putting out something that could possibly help the next person as well. Something I went through could probably help them, or something that I say probably could help them, or something we film could help a new parent that's dating somebody with kids, or they have kids and stuff, little stuff like that. So I'm just happy with the podcast, even if it's not meeting where we thought it should meet. But like you said, patience is key, and just keep going forward, stay consistent.
Yeah, I definitely like that the part about like if we have a time, we'll stick to that time or whatever, because it is very easy to, be like, oh, we'll do it later or push it off. Or, if it's just us filming, I can easily say like, oh, I want to go get food. So like, let's do it later or something like that. Like we're very serious about our times and just staying like on schedule. Like we don't really like, even if it's just us filming, we're still, if we say 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, we're gonna be, on camera by that time.
Right. And I have to admit, we're running a little late today. I got here. That's all that matters. But yeah, I definitely like that we take ourselves serious, because I was thinking, like, I was gonna say, I forgot that we have to film today, actually. And I could have easily like, oh well, let's do it another day because it's just us that's filming. And I'm like, nah, I'm not. I can get up and film. Like, I have 3 hours to get ready, so let's do it. So,
Okay, guys, so we are coming to the end of another Sister Talks episode. So I'm going to ask a little closing out question. What is one thing that you hope to change going into season 2?
Just not being afraid to touch on those topics that might be a little frightening to touch, like being ready to talk about it, like really talk about it and not be afraid, because that's pretty much what's with me. I kind of hold back. I don't want anyone to be offended, but we may offend some people, or we may inform some people. So just, I'm ready to talk about the topics, of the juicy topics.
Yeah, me too. Because I just have to think about it. I don't want to offend anyone either, but I just have to think about it. Like when I'm watching like other people's podcasts, or I'm watching like little clips or whatever, you just have to, that's that person's opinion, or that's that person trying to get better understanding, something like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to changing that. We're going to change up like our cover photo a little bit. We're going to change our, what's it called? Titles a little bit, and we're going to really focus on, like really, really promoting and stuff. So it's going to be good change. I'm excited for good change.
I'm definitely excited for season 2, and I'm so happy to be able to say that we're going into season 2. We filmed 16 successful episodes, including this one will make 16. So I'm just excited for what the future holds, and I'm glad that even within the 16 episodes that were filmed, that I still want to do it, so I like it,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as we said, this is the 16th episode of season 1. This is the final episode. We might put out a little bit of like a bloopers of like short funny clips, but we're going to take a little bit of a break, but we're going to be like just promoting. We want you guys to catch up on all the other episodes. If you haven't watched them all, make sure to tune in and watch all of them. They're all usually around an hour, so we have about 16 hours of footage for you guys to watch. And like I said, we're going to take a little bit of a break. So we won't see you. Usually we say see you on Sunday, but we won't see you, for a few Sundays. But make sure to stay updated with our Instagram, our YouTube, because we will be releasing information and stuff on future episodes. So thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.